Hello guys and welcome to another video. The LeaperKim Patton is out and I gave you my review about it. This time, I've asked two New York City riders to test the LeaperKim Patton and give me their feedback on it. Let's go!
Patton, it's a pretty good New York City wheel, I would say. The torque is definitely there for a 16-inch wheel. I mean, I have the T4 and the comparison is not even there. The knobby tire stock, really good for street. It doesn't compress as much as like the CSC or Kenda. It's pretty predictable on hard carbs. The body shape, it almost feels like I'm riding a Sherman S. Just feels a little bit shorter. With the pad setup though, I don't find it very comfortable for seated riding. So for long range cruising, especially with the, I think a 2200 watt-hour battery, won't be the best option, but definitely a fun little city ripper. We tried this on soft mode. Truthfully, it's not really there. It's not even as soft as the Sherman S, and that barely has it to begin with. But with that being said, you'll probably have no problem riding medium or hard mode. It's very responsive. Ride feel, it's super comfortable. Just gotta play with the pads a little bit, but you can really tune it your own, especially the toe part. If you want to adjust this, make it higher or lower. I had it a little bit lower so it can help me climb up some curbs, grab my foot when we were at the skate park earlier. But other than that, ride feel, pretty solid. Very reminiscent of the Sherman S. I currently have the Master and the Sherman S, so a little bit of comparison with this. Again, it feels very reminiscent of the Sherman S, the way the ride feel is. Just a slightly smaller package, but definitely a lot more torque. I really wish the Sherman S had this kind of torque and responsiveness, but you know, this being a higher voltage and 16-inch wheel, you know, what can you say? Pedal heights comparing to the Master, I feel like it's about the same here. Even on hard carbs, I did toe scrape a little bit, but it's also with the knobby tire compressing. So if you ever switch this to a street tire, I think that would be really nice on the streets. But definitely for hybrid riding, for off-road, this tire I would recommend keeping if you're gonna do some off-roading. Yeah, it really grips the trails. You know, the market lately has been going to all these bigger wheels. I mean, you know, we had the V13, the Master Pro. Not everyone is gonna purchase that wheel for what they need. It's such a niche type of wheel. So 16 inches, again, they're the perfect city commuter, cruiser, very nimble on the streets. And you know, even the Patton, it's a little bit heavy when you're at least carrying it, but ride feel, you don't feel that at all. So it feels like a lightweight. It almost kind of feels like riding the lightness of a Nikola. The acceleration, the power is just there. I'm surprised by the battery performance actually. I thought I was going to drain more, constantly torquing and accelerating it. It's pretty good. Who's this wheel for? I would say for those who are looking to step up from their current 84 volt, 100 volt, 16-inch wheels, but for those who also want to downsize from their daily 18-inch, 20-inch heavier wheels. So again, being this a 16-inch, very nimble, The build quality is absolutely there. The rim feels super solid, just like the Sherman S. I know that's a big deal with all other wheels, like with the rims bending, the quality of all that. So if you're looking for, again, quality, ride feel, responsiveness, I would get this wheel for sure. Yeah, for technical trails, I would definitely ride this for fun. If you're gonna do jumps, I would probably not choose this wheel. No matter how much you tune the suspension, you will most likely bottom out. I think the coil suspension would be best for that kind of riding, but for any other trail riding, especially on the flats, flat dirt, wood chip, with this tire especially, this will be a good choice, especially if you're gonna use it for everything. Street riding, trails, Patton is good.
Ride, first impression, it's good. Surprisingly, my theory has always been smaller wheel benefits from suspension way more than a bigger wheel. Plus, you don't have the detriment of like the wheel weighs as much as like an average human male or something. So yeah, it's got the Veteran signature, a little bit of a more concatenated, like kind of a shorter range soft mode. But on a suspension wheel, you kind of don't want that really free-flowing soft mode, I think. I wish we could adjust the suspension to make it super tight, because I don't like being able to like manipulate the suspension when there's no bump. I want it only to activate when there is a bump.
Do you like the design?
Design's whatever. They all look like the same shit these days. All black, boxy, you know, whatever. It's like back in the day, we didn't have a lot of black EUCs, so like everything become black EUC. Now I kind of want like color, like white EUC, something EUC. Like I don't really like that part. You know, it's got the Veteran feel, the weight balance, yeah. So what I always like about Veteran is 2 batteries down. You always want the weight near the axle so that it doesn't influence. It's not outside of the center of gravity. So the weight balance of the batteries is great. You got the top mounted board, and probably, I'm guessing, the heatsink under here for the cooling. I love that. We were screaming for that like for so many years, like the proper cooling. That's good. I know a lot of people like the Sherman S, but if you wanted something cheaper, same feel, not a lot of you know, if you don't care as much about max range, then I think it's good, yeah, for that. I can't, obviously, like we can't unfortunately tighten up the suspension. Like I would pump it all to the max, everything max, and see how that feels. I wish I could, but I'm guessing it would feel a lot better, because when and actually you're right, it's not as bouncy as if like when I do this, but that opposed to on the road, it's not as bouncy feeling, but also I can still manipulate it. I don't want to manipulate it. I want it rock hard, like sports suspension, like a car. I don't want to be able to manipulate it unless there's an actual bump, a real bump.
감사합니다.
I got the Holy Spirit. I want this to pop up. It's like nothing. And I have to press and then lift it. But that's peanuts. Yeah. it's the same. The MSX, the old MSX type feet. Like you got it perpendicular with the body in the back. It's not as bad as that trolley. It feels sturdy enough. You know. Yeah, good. Pretty good. And they don't do the whole design so that when you hit something, that your whole thing is out of, like the whole alignment of the body is out of whack, like because it's one piece. This is good. Yeah, I actually like this. I was looking now for like 16 or lower with suspension, not super heavy. Which this actually, yeah, that's another point. The weight on this. So I'm guessing it weighs similar to a regular like OG Veteran Sherman, but despite them having the same weight, because the body is higher, it doesn't feel as like cumbersome to lift it up because you're not lifting it up as much off the ground distance-wise. So I actually do like this wheel. I'm not totally sure I would get it because I'm still waiting for them to do a 14 suspension. I'm not a super picky person about tires. It's fine. As long as it doesn't do that the gyro kind of upright thing. And it's not that type of tire. It doesn't have the sidewall edges to give you that upright gyro stabilization thing. Logistics of it, yeah. Now I have a little bit of that feel in my feet. Maybe on this one. Yeah, there's a difference, but not big enough for me to merit like, I have to lift, pinch a nudge, like try to go upstairs carrying the thing. I'll much rather have this than that. So between these two wheels, the pedal height is similar, and then the body heights are like, it hits you like pretty good here. I mean, anything around knee height and above gives you enough safety for, you know, feeling sturdy at high speed. So I don't see the point of getting this with the suspension. Like back in non-suspension days, like it made a difference because the smaller wheel was shorter usually. But now they have to make it taller, which I wish they did back in the day, but they made it taller because to fit the suspension with the batteries. So they're around the same height. I don't see the point of the big wheel because you're going to just suspend away all the bumps anyways. The feeling is... flash for footage. But nice, this one is nice.